It is day number 25 of our daily Lent Devotional series that we're doing on our YouTube channel. My name is Pastor Mark, and it is so good to be with you today. Just a little bit of administrative information here at the beginning of the video. Yesterday's video, Wednesday's video, we had some technical difficulty in uploading it. And so it wasn't really completely uploaded until late in the evening. So you may have missed yesterday's video. There's a couple ways that you can find it. You can either go back and look at the email that was sent out if you're on our email list. The link should still work. It's the same link. Or you can go to our Facebook page. I actually posted it this morning for yesterday's video. So sorry about that. It's happened a couple times. We've had trouble every once in a while just uploading the video to the YouTube channel. But today, hopefully, we don't have any problems, and we are continuing this series. And I'm so excited about today. I mean, I have noticed a theme as we get closer to Easter. We're actually starting to kind of transition from some of the things we talked about early on in this series to now we're starting to look at things that I believe will help us be able to really get in a good foundation on how we live out our lives as Christians past Easter. And that's really the goal of Lent. It's not just about religiously doing something. It's about really changing our behavior, changing our focus, that we actually not only see Easter for what it is, but really what does living in light of Easter or living in the shadow of Easter really help us accomplish for our own lives past Easter? Like, how do we live out our lives as Christians each and every day that God gives us? And today we are looking at this Bible verse from Matthew chapter 6. It's a very familiar one. It's a lot of times used in the spiritual practice of fasting. And I'm not necessarily diving into fasting when I discuss this passage, but there's something here that I think really helps us be able to truly see what it looks like to live in light of Easter past Easter. And so this is what Jesus said. These are the words of Jesus. And he said, when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received the reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And so Jesus here is speaking to, of course, a lot of the Pharisees, a lot of the religious leaders, a lot of the Jewish elite that would do this public fasting, and they would make a big deal about, their self-righteousness on how they fasted, how they did all these spiritual practices before others. And what Jesus is saying is, no, really, ultimately, it's not about those things that you do in public externally, but what is it that is taking place inside of your heart? What is it that is happening here that God will see? But that's what all that matters is what are you presenting before the Lord in here? I've talked to I helped out with a children's class not too long ago, and this one kid said to me, like, hey, does God see everything? And and I tried to explain to him, like, yeah, God sees everything, even things that some people don't see. God is able to see everything that is taking place because God sees into your heart. And I think that is so true. And that's what Jesus is saying here. It's ultimately, like, what are you doing inside of here that matters? Because that is what God sees. Let me pull up another passage here that kind of emphasizes this. This is actually from the story of when Samuel was helping find the next king of Israel. And if you remember, we went through all the sons, and some of them looked like a king, some of them didn't look like a king, and then all of a sudden Samuel's like, well, do you have another son? And he's like, oh yeah, we have our youngest son David, and he's out in the field, he's a shepherd. And Samuel's like, well, bring him before me. And this is what the Lord says to Samuel during all of this. And he says, do not look at this appearance, look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. And so, again, the emphasis here is not what a person looks like externally that makes him king. Saul, he was chosen because he looked like a king. He had the stature of a king. But God is saying, no, I've rejected him. Why? Because the Lord sees not as man sees. The man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at what's taking place in the heart. And I think that is so key when it comes to our lives as Christians. When we're going to live past Easter, Easter's coming up, and all of these things that we've been doing and considering during this season of Lent is meant to kind of formulate a new way of thinking, formulate spiritual practices. Well, for what purpose? It's not just for Easter. It's for us to live past Easter and really to be the spiritual leader in our homes, the spiritual leaders in our communities, and take these spiritual practices and apply them to what it looks like to live past Easter. But at the end of the day, it's not done for external reasons. It's done for God and God alone, and God is going to see what's taking place in our heart. Psalm 51 verse 17 says this. He says, the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. Oh God, you will not despise. And so the sacrifices of God are what? A broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. See, it's all about what's happening inside of the heart that matters to God. And I hope that this is encouraging and is a good reminder for us. Because, of course, sometimes we buy into popularity contests and we worry about what other people think of us. We worry about how we look to other people. But see, at the end of the day, all of the things that are external, all of the things that people may see externally, that ultimately doesn't matter. What is happening inside of here? That's what matters. And there are times where, like in the season of Lent, like we've been going through, that you should spend time to examine that. Because sometimes there are certain things that are happening that, are not aligned with what God desires us to have inside of our hearts. Maybe there is that one thing that is distracting us, that we're allowing it, that one idol to creep into our lives and to control our lives, to control our time, control the way we spend our money, to control, what we focus on. And then, we're led astray by that one thing. We've discussed idols in this time together here in this devotional, but it's those things that matter. It's where's our heart at? What is our heart focused on? Because that ultimately is what God is looking at. And so I pray that in the coming few days we'll be able to use this time to really apply this to our lives. I wrote down a few things. I have one more slide and I almost forgot about it. And this is kind of the application from this video, but let me pull it up here on the screen. And, some ideas. Examine your motives on why you do certain things. Like the spiritual practices you do. Are they for God? Are they for others? Are they just to make you feel good? Are they, just to check a box? Because ultimately, checking boxes, making ourselves feel good, that's not what matters. Are we doing these spiritual practices? Are we fasting? Are we reading our Bible daily in order to grow in our relationship with God? Second thing is embrace hidden faithfulness. Spend time with God where no one else sees. We talked about this youth group last night. If Jesus had to go away and be by himself with God, how much more do we have to go away? I mean, he's the Son of God. So look at opportunities to get away from the busyness of life and set some time aside each day maybe and just spend time with God, praying with him, reading your Bible by yourself and focusing on the Lord. And then let these things deepen a dependence with God. Use the spiritual practices that you may do, like praying every day or reading the Bible every day. Allow those things to deepen your relationship with God, because that ultimately is the purpose and the focus. I almost forgot that slide, but I'm glad I didn't, because those are 3 important reminders on what all this means for us. Well, my time is up, and it is good to see you today. Thank you for tuning into these videos. I keep hearing upon how helpful they are for a lot of us as we get closer to Easter. I do hope you come out on Palm Sunday. We're going to have a really exciting celebration this coming Sunday. And Easter is just going to be so much fun. We're going to start with the sunrise service over at First Reformed Church. I'll be giving a little message while First Reformed hosts, and they'll have a little mini breakfast at 7 o'clock on Easter morning. And then here we're going to have a hymn sing before the service. Starts at 9:10, I think, or 9:15, right around there, the hymn sing. That'll lead right into our Easter service on Sunday morning on Easter. And that's going to be so much fun. So I'm excited for the coming few holidays or few important events that are coming up. Palm Sunday, Easter Sunday, Monday, Thursday. But in the meantime, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.